Jason had never been a fan of bad weather. As a pizza delivery boy, he preferred clear skies and calm nights, where he could zip through the streets without a care. But tonight, the skies had darkened ominously, and the wind began to howl. He had already made several deliveries, and as the evening grew later, the streets began to empty, leaving a sense of isolation in the air. His bike, an old second-hand model, had seen better days. It creaked and groaned with every pedal, but Jason had no choice but to rely on it. Tonight, however, it felt like the bike had finally had enough. He was on his way to deliver a large order to a high-rise apartment complex when suddenly, with a loud clunk, the pedal slipped off. Jason immediately stopped, looking down in horror. The pedal was now completely detached from the bike, leaving him stranded in the middle of a quiet street with no way to fix it. The pizza, still warm in his bag, would be cold soon, and the customer was probably already waiting. He pulled out his phone, dreading the incoming call, but before he could even dial for help, the phone vibrated with a message from his manager. "Where's the delivery?" Jason groaned, his frustration rising. He was going to be fired for sure. What was he supposed to do now with a broken bike and a job on the line? Jason began to panic. Just as Jason was about to give up, he heard footsteps behind him. He turned, expecting to see a passerby or maybe even a helpful stranger. But to his shock, the figure standing before him was none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The sight of the towering figure, exuding strength and confidence, made Jason's mouth fall open. Is this a dream, he thought. The Rock, wearing a black hoodie and jeans, smiled down at him. "Hey, looks like you've hit a bit of a bump in the road there," he said with his signature charm. Jason, still in disbelief, stammered, You're The Rock." The Rock's grin widened, and he nodded. "The one and only. You need some help, kid?" Jason, utterly stunned, barely managed to nod. "My bike broke, and I've got a pizza that needs to be delivered," he explained, his voice tinged with panic. The Rock took a quick look at the bike, then bent down, inspecting it with the same focus and precision he might use to analyze a wrestling move. "Flat tire and a missing pedal. Lucky for you, I'm good with my hands," he said, flashing a wink. "Don't worry, I've got this." Jason couldn't believe it. Was The Rock seriously going to fix his bike? It was hard to even comprehend. The Rock's calm demeanor and reassuring presence made Jason feel like everything was going to be okay, even though his entire world seemed to be falling apart moments before. With effortless confidence, The Rock retrieved a small toolkit from his bag, a tool he clearly carried for just such moments. He set to work, his massive hands moving with surprising dexterity as he reattached the pedal and quickly fixed the flat tire. Jason stood in awe, unable to believe his eyes. The Rock was not only a movie star and wrestler but also someone who could fix a bike in mere minutes. As he worked, The Rock chatted casually with Jason, asking about his day and offering encouraging words. "You know," The Rock said, looking up with a grin, "sometimes life throws you a curveball, but that's just part of the game. You keep going. You keep doing your thing." Within moments, the bike was fully repaired. The Rock stood up, wiping his hands on his jeans. "There you go, kid. All set." Jason, still in disbelief, thanked him profusely, feeling a mixture of relief and gratitude. "I don't even know how to thank you," Jason said, genuinely moved by The Rock's kindness. The Rock clapped him on the shoulder and smiled. "No need, my man. You've got a job to do. Get that pizza to the customer." Jason nodded, his spirits lifted and his mind at ease. He hopped back on the bike, now fully functional, and with a final wave to the rock, he sped off into the night. As he rode, Jason couldn't stop smiling. He had just been helped by one of the most famous men on the planet. What had started as a disastrous night was now an unforgettable one, and Jason couldn't wait to share the story with everyone at work. As Jason made his way to the customer's apartment, the weight of what had just happened began to settle in. The bike, which had once seemed like a hopeless burden, now felt like the key to his success. He couldn't stop replaying the moment the rock had appeared out of nowhere to help him. It wasn't just the fact that it was a celebrity, it was the genuine kindness, the willingness to help a stranger, that had made all the difference. Jason found himself riding faster, not out of urgency, but because he felt empowered. He arrived at the apartment complex just in time, the pizza still warm, and his mind buzzing with disbelief. He handed the order to the customer, who was taken aback by the story Jason had to tell. No one would believe him if he didn't have the proof. As Jason pedaled back to the shop after the delivery, he felt lighter, as if something had shifted inside him. The night had gone from disaster to redemption, and all because of one unexpected moment of kindness from someone who didn't have to stop, but did anyway.